how to best reach the atheist audience. As far as I can tell, he doesn't.
Well said. I can't even add to that.
I got a call that's for you, so we're going to do that. Bach calling in from, is it Michigan? Pronounce it I'm not even going to read the rest of it. It just says this is for Derek. So Bach, you're on with Derek.
So Derek, would you say all material reduces to quantity?
Oh my gosh.
And that qualities are ultimately illusory?
This sounds like a precept. This sounds like the
asking a question.
Listen,
does all material reduce to quantity? And if that's the case, qualities? Well, hang on, are qualities illusory?
Who is this?
Bach. This is Bach from Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not interested in your script, to be honest with you. It sounds like a typical precept script.
It's not a script. Listen, if material reduces to quantity, then qualia is ultimately illusory. Do you agree?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have a question real quick, Bach. Why did you call in to specifically ask Derek questions if this isn't an area that Derek has any particular expertise in?
How do I know what Derek knows?
Well, why didn't you? Do you know whether or not I know? Do you think I know?
I want to know if Derek has any epistemological understanding. Does he have any understanding of his epistemology?
Do I have any understanding of my epistemology?
Yeah, so I'm asking you the question in relation to your epistemology and your ontological beliefs. Does the material world reduce merely to quantity? And if that's the case, are qualities illusory?
Okay, so what is the point? I'm just going to go with the flow and say, I don't know, help me out. What is the answer?
Because if all is quantity and removes qualia, then any concept of meaning in your atheistic worldview is done away with. Meaning is merely an illusory concept in your mind, and I have no reason to take anything you say seriously.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
That's fine. And you're saying I should take what you're saying seriously.
No, I'm saying you need to develop an epistemology where you can account for why I ought to take anything you say seriously.
And I'm asking you, what do you have to present that is something we should take serious?
Well, we'll have to talk about what can secure ultimate meaning in this world. Derek, what do you think can secure ultimate meaning in this world?
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Ultimate meaning. Like people can't have subjective experiences that you would consider meaningful. But you don't count that as meaning.
Those would fundamentally be illusory. Am I right? In relation to the ultimate, they'd be fundamentally illusory?
I'll go with it and say, sure. Let's just suppose both of us. Let's just say that's the case with the worldview that I hold, and you and me both are dealing with illusory experiences we call meaningful.
Okay, why should I take you seriously then?
Why should I take you? You're the one who's saying that, I don't have to take it serious.
Derek, this is the problem with your epistemology and your ontology, is it reduces to meaninglessness. When your foundation is meaningless,
I'm going to interrupt, Bach.
Is meaningless.
Bach, I'm going to ask a question here. If Derek doesn't have a good understanding of epistemology, does that mean that atheism is without any sort of understanding of epistemology?
Listen, I'm interested in Derek's epistemology because Derek builds a worldview.
Bach,
listen, hang on.
Bach,
listen, let me answer the question.
Bach, no, I'm gonna mute you because you're not answering the question. Okay, you got to run your little script on Derek and show that you have a better understanding of qualia than he does, and that you might have a better understanding of epistemology. Now we're going to find out if you can stand up and be honest. And so the question is, and I'm going to ask it again. If Derek doesn't have a good understanding of epistemological foundations, does that say anything at all about an atheistic worldview?
Well, it depends on the atheist I'm talking to. So if I was
No, it doesn't depend on the atheist you're talking to. No, it doesn't, Bach. I'm going to mute you again. I'm going to ask you the question. Does Derek's flawed epistemology. Let's assume that Derek's epistemology is broken. Does Derek's broken epistemology in any way demonstrate that atheists are all without good epistemological foundations?
Okay, I got a beep and I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
Does Derek's broken epistemology in any way demonstrate that atheism, that other atheists don't have good epistemology?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
Yes, I'm right.
You're wrong, and I'm going to mute you, and then I'm going to give you a lecture because you're a smug little prick, and I'm going to have some fun today. The fact of the matter is, no individual's flawed epistemology says anything at all about the other members of a group. My epistemology may be different from Derek's. Mine could, in fact, be sound if his is broken. His could, in fact, be sound if mine were broken. That's why I asked the question, because you came in as a smug little prick to try to dog stomp my friend by exposing that he doesn't dig in on philosophy and doesn't care that much about the foundations of epistemology, probably doesn't even know what qualia is. I do, and qualia is bullshit. If
to me from their light. So, and anyway,
if I may make one comment on this whole idea, and it's not in the law codes or the law collections, but it's an observation that I made while reading Jaco Garike's work on Does Yahweh Exist? He approaches it from a textual, critical, and philosophical angle. And I'm not a philosopher. Every time a precept gets me, I am so duped by the nonsense, and I fall for the script, and I get trapped in this stupid ass argument, and I'm so pissed off at it.
I actually thought you did okay on the line the other day, Derek.
I'm like, dude, I was like, that's how I feel like. I feel like responding, like,
dude, you went on the line.
I was on the line, and this guy called, and I'm like, okay, so anyway, like, I'm not a philosopher type, but I'm reading this, and this interesting observation from him was